All right, welcome back, good people. I am so glad you're here for this video today because as I was doing research this week, I ran across some things about habits, and I wanted to title this video Habits, but I wanted to explain some things about habits that I hadn't thought about, and when I run across things like that I hadn't thought about, it really sparks my interest in sharing that with you guys, right? Because I feel like if I hadn't thought about it and I do research, you probably haven't thought about it and maybe don't do research, right? So I just want to, open your mind to it because I believe that once your mind has been open to something, then you have the opportunity to take it to another level, right? But if you don't know, you don't know. You really can't be responsible for what you don't know, but you can be. So it depends on where you are with that. So I'm going to talk about habits on this video, but before I talk about it, or I should say while I'm talking about it, I want you to get an understanding of how this process is working, right? When I do the research for these videos, I have to do that regularly, right? So doing that regularly requires me to create habits, right? And when I create those habits, those can be good habits or bad habits, right? Because along the way, what I'll say smart people will do is try to make things as efficient as possible, right? So they'll want to get the specifics understood very quickly and put things in place so that they can make everything work, right? And you can only do that through incorporating some type of habits. You have to have habits, right? And there are things that you have to do, like whatever you do on your job, right? If you have, like, say you work in one area and you do certain things, you have to do those things regularly, right? That's whatever that is. I don't know what that is for you, but that's how that works. Okay, so let me read a little bit about habits, and then I'm going to share with you a couple of things I didn't take into consideration. Habits. The first definition: a settled or regular tendency or practice, especially one that is hard to give up. This can be developed into a bad habit. Wikipedia says a habit is a routine of behavior that is repeated regularly and tends to occur subconsciously. The American Journal of Psychology in 1903 defines a habit from the standpoint of psychology as a more or less fixed way of thinking, willing, or feeling acquired through previous repetition of a mental experience. You see, those are interesting takes on habits, right? But our basic understanding of a habit is something you do on a regular basis, right? So that you got a habit. That's smokers have a habit, drinkers have a habit, right? Those are not necessarily good habits, but they're habits, right? So there are good habits and bad habits. And that's a good segue into this next segment. A bad habit is an undesirable behavior pattern. Common examples include procrastination, fidgeting, overspending, nail biting, etc. Okay, now the sooner one recognizes these bad habits, the easier it is to fix them. Rather than merely attempting to eliminate a bad habit, it may be more productive to seek to replace it with a healthier coping mechanism, right? Because sometimes bad habits are so ingrained, or so deep that just regular things or regular thought won't alter those. Now, to go on the flip side of a bad habit, we're going to talk about a good habit. What is a good habit? A behavior that is beneficial to one's physical or mental health, often linked to a high level of discipline and self-control. Examples of good habits would be regular exercise, consumption of alcohol in moderation, balanced diet, monogamy, etc. Now, you see how that works? Those things are habits as well, just like the cigarettes and alcohol, right, or whatever. But with alcohol, you need to. I was surprised they had that on there. You should moderate that. It said moderate, but that can also be a bad habit. That kind of goes with the first definition of a settled, regular tendency of practice, especially one that is hard to give up. This can develop into a bad habit. That's also in line with the alcohol, right? Now, the one that I really wanted you to listen to was this one. And then this one is about formation. And it says, habit formation is the process by which a behavior through regular repetition becomes automatic or habitual. As the habit is forming, it can be analyzed into three parts: the cue, the behavior, and the reward. The cue is the thing that causes the habit to come about, the trigger of the habitual behavior. This could be anything that one's mind associates with that habit, and one will automatically let a habit come to the surface. The behavior is the actual habit that one exhibits, and the reward, a positive feeling therefore continues the habit loop. A habit may initially be triggered by a goal, but over time that habit becomes less necessary and the habit becomes more automatic. The goal becomes less necessary and the habit becomes automatic. I found that to be very interesting, didn't you? Because when you think about it, okay, you're going to create the habit, but I guess you create the habit out of pleasure or out of wanting, like you might want to know how to do that, so you keep, like say you're exercising and you want to learn how to build upper body, or you want to learn how to build legs. You may have to do that repetition over and over and over, and over time you'll get what you want, right? That will be the reward. So I guess it is kind of goal orientated, kind of pleasure orientated. But the final thing I want to talk about with the habit was the will and intention. It says a key factor in distinguishing a key factor in distinguishing a bad habit from an addiction. Because I thought about that too. I thought about, wouldn't a bad habit be considered an addiction in a lot of cases? And then as I was doing research, this will and intention came up. Okay, so I'm going to begin. A key factor in distinguishing a bad habit from an addiction or mental disease is willpower. If a person has control over the behavior, then it is a habit. Good intentions can override the negative effect of bad habits, but their effects seem to be independent and addictive. The bad habits remain, but are subdued rather than canceled. Subdued rather than canceled. Those are different words, right? And the meaning and the results are going to be very different also. But I found that to be very interesting about habits, because we're creatures of habits. People are creatures of habits. Whatever, if I come to you right now, I don't even know anything about you. I don't know you. You don't know me. If I ask you 3 questions, I can tell you if one of those is your habit, right? If I ask you how regular you do something, if you tell me the truth, it's easy to base that on that. And if you don't tell me the truth, you know the truth, right? That's how it works. We're creatures of habit. And creating a business is no different. You have to create systems, and those systems have to become habitual. You have to do those over and over and over, which is why the reward is you get good, you get better, you can become the best. But more important than that, you don't have to be. You don't have to be the best to create a lifestyle that will allow you to live the life you want, do the things you want, and you're doing this at your own pace. which is why most of my clients are what I want to call baby boomers, because they have time after they retire, right? They can do what they want to, when they want to, if they want to. Now, if you go into that if you want to, you're going into that procrastination mode, right? That's not where you want to be. Now, most entrepreneurs are not procrastinators on a high level. We procrastinate on some things, but on certain things we're, by the book on certain things, and that's what it is required to take our system to the next level and the next level and the next level, right? So focus on that and pay attention to your habits. Don't let your habits control you. You control them, right? All right, don't forget to like this video, share this video, and I'll see you on the next video.